The village of Okoro was small but full of life. Every morning, smoke from clay kitchens curled into the sky, goats bleated in corners, and children chased each other through the dusty paths. The heart of the village was not the market or the square, it was the great river that flowed just beyond the palm trees. The river gave the people fish, water for their farms, and sometimes, even stories. For the villagers believed the river had its own spirit, watching over them. By the river lived Ada and her father, Papa Okeke, a humble fisherman known for his patience and skill with nets. Ada's mother had died when she was very small, so her father raised her alone. She grew up strong, bright, and full of laughter, always following him to the water's edge. While other girls learned weaving or cooking, Ada's joy was in paddling the canoe, helping her father mend nets, or carrying baskets of fish to the market. Yet Ada was not like other children. There was something different about her, something that people whispered about. Whenever she sang by the river, her voice floated across the water like a sweet flute, and strangely, the fish seemed to gather close to her canoe. Even when she laughed, it carried so far that farmers in the fields would pause, wondering where the sound came from. Some villagers admired her gift, but others shook their heads. "This girl is not ordinary," they said in hushed tones. "The river has marked her." An old woman once told Papa Okeke, "Be careful, my son. Children touched by the river do not belong fully to this world." Papa Okeke would only sigh. "She is my daughter," he said. That is all. He loved her deeply, but even he could not deny that sometimes Ada's eyes looked too bright, as if they were holding secrets no child should know. One evening, as the sun turned the river into gold, Ada sat quietly beside the water. The wind rustled the palm leaves, and the current whispered softly against the shore. She dipped her fingers into the water and felt something unusual, a warmth, almost like a gentle hand holding hers. She shivered and quickly pulled back, her heart beating fast. From that day, she could not shake the feeling that the river was watching her. Every ripple seemed to follow her steps, every wave seemed to echo her name. Though she tried to ignore it, deep inside she knew her life would never be like other girls in Okoro, and so, while the villagers called her the fisherman's daughter, the river had already given her another name in silence, the river child. The night in Okoro was unusually still. The moon hung like a silver drum in the sky, and the only sound was the quiet croak of frogs hidden in the bush. Ada tossed and turned on her raffia mat, unable to sleep. There was a strange weight pressing on her chest, a feeling she could not explain. It was as if the river was calling her name in silence. Finally, unable to resist, she rose quietly so as not to wake her father. The cool night breeze brushed against her skin as she stepped outside. The village was asleep, no smoke in the air, no laughter from neighbors, only the sound of insects. She walked barefoot along the narrow path, guided only by the faint glow of the moon, until she reached the riverbank. Mist floated above the surface of the river, making it look like a place between this world and another. Ada stood at the edge, hugging herself tightly. She told herself she would only look, only breathe in the air and return to her mat. But just as she turned to go, she heard it, a voice. Soft, gentle, whispering her name, Ada. Ada. She froze, her legs stiff like wood. Her eyes darted left and right, but no one was there. The sound was not coming from the bush, not from the trees, not even from the village. It was coming directly from the water. Her heart beat fast, and goosebumps rose on her arms. She stumbled back, almost tripping on a stone. "No, it cannot be," she muttered. But deep down, she knew what she had heard. The river was speaking to her. The next morning, her father noticed her red, sleepless eyes. "Ada, why you dey look like somebody wey wrestle with spirits in the night?" he asked, half joking. Ada hesitated, then whispered, "Papa, I hear the river call me. It called my name." Papa Okeke stopped mending his net. His hands froze. Slowly, he looked at his daughter. His face was calm, but his eyes held worry. My child, river no dey call anybody. Maybe no dream hold you. Forget it. But Ada shook her head. It was not dream, Papa. I hear it clear. That evening, when Ada went to fetch water, she felt the same pull again. The river looked calm, innocent, reflecting the sky like a giant mirror. Yet she could not shake the feeling that something alive, something unseen, was watching her from below. For the first time, fear began to mix with curiosity. Ada wanted to run from the river, but she also wanted to know why it called her. Deep in her heart, she sensed her life was about to change forever. The whispers of the river continued to haunt Ada. Every night, she heard her name in her dreams, carried by the soft rush of waves. During the day, when she fetched water, the pull grew stronger, making her linger longer at the bank. Villagers began to notice. One afternoon, as she bent by the river, her clay pot balanced on her head. Two women passing by stopped and whispered. "That's fisherman's daughter again," one said, her voice sharp like pepper. "Always near the river. Does she think she is married to water spirits?" The other laughed harshly. "Mark my words, nothing good comes from a girl who listens to whispers no one else hears." Their words followed Ada back home, sinking into her heart like stones. She tried to push them away, but fear settled deep inside her. That evening, Papa Okeke called her close. He had heard rumors in the market square, and his face was heavy with concern. "Ada, listen to me," he said firmly. "The village people are talking. They think something strange is tying you to the river. You must stay away from it, my child. Do you hear me?" Ada's eyes filled with tears. She wanted to obey, but how could she silence the call that echoed in her blood? "Papa, I try. But the river, it calls me. I cannot explain." Papa Okeke placed his rough fisherman's hand on her shoulder. "You are my daughter. I will not let them harm you. But remember this, our elders say the river has two faces. It gives life, but it can also take it away. Respect it. Do not let curiosity lead you into danger." The next day, Ada was summoned before the Council of Elders. The gathering was held under the great Iroko tree at the center of the village. Old men with grey beards and sharp eyes sat on wooden stools, their walking sticks planted firmly in the ground. The women of the village stood at a distance, whispering among themselves. Elder Namdi, the oldest of them all, spoke first. His voice was like dry leaves rustling in the wind. "Ada, child of Okeke, we have heard troubling things. They say the river calls your name. Do you confirm it?" Ada's heart pounded. She looked down, afraid to meet their eyes, but finally whispered, "Yes. I hear it." The elders gasped, and the women covered their mouths. Elder Namdi raised his staff. "You must be careful. River spirits are not friends to mortal men. If you follow their call, you may never return." Ada trembled, caught between fear and wonder. The warning echoed inside her, but so did the call of the river. Deep down, she knew her story with the river was only just beginning. The warning of the elders weighed heavily on Ada's heart, but the call of the river grew stronger with each passing day. She tried to avoid the riverbank, yet her dreams were filled with glowing waters and voices whispering secrets. Sometimes, she woke up drenched in sweat, feeling as if the river itself had wrapped around her. One evening, while the sun melted into a golden glow, Ada carried her pot to fetch water. She hesitated at the bank, remembering Elder Namdi's staff raised in warning. But the river was calm, its surface shining like glass. She bent to fill her pot when something unusual caught her eye, a small object bobbing gently on the water. Curious, she reached out. And the river seemed to part just enough for her hand to grasp it. It was a delicate, woven bracelet made of shiny shells and river reeds. The moment her fingers touched it, a soft warmth flowed into her body. The air seemed to hum around her, and the river whispered, "Daughter of the water, you are chosen." Ada gasped, clutching the bracelet to her chest. Her clay pot toppled, spilling water onto the ground, but she didn't notice. Her eyes widened with awe and fear. The river had given her a gift. That night, Papa Okeke noticed the strange bracelet on her wrist. His face turned pale, and he trembled. "Ada, where did you get this?" His voice cracked with both fear and anger. It came from the river. "Papa," Ada whispered. "I did not steal it. The water gave it to me." Okeke's eyes filled with tears as he turned away. "The river has claimed you," he muttered under his breath. "I prayed this day would never come." But before he could explain further, a loud knock came at their door. Villagers stood outside, lanterns in hand, their faces dark with suspicion. Someone had seen Ada with the strange bracelet, and rumors had already begun to spread. "She is marked," one man shouted. "The river has chosen her. No good will come of this." Ada clutched her wrist, torn between fear and wonder. Deep inside, she felt the bracelet pulsing, like a heartbeat in rhythm with her own. The elders had warned her never to accept the river's call, yet she could not deny the strange power flowing through her. For the first time, she realized her destiny was no longer entirely her own. The night after the villagers' accusations, the air in Okoro felt heavy, as if the sky itself carried anger. Clouds gathered, and the wind howled through the palm trees. Papa Okeke sat silently, his hands shaking as he mended his net. Ada sat opposite him, clutching the glowing bracelet that refused to leave her wrist no matter how hard she pulled. "Papa," she whispered, "why are they afraid of me? Why does this bracelet not come off?" Okeke sighed deeply, his face shadowed with sorrow. "Because, Ada, the river does not give without reason. Long ago, before you were born, it was said that once in a generation, the river would choose a child to carry its spirit. That child would either bring blessings or destruction, depending on the path she takes. The village fears you because they do not know which one you will bring." Ada's chest tightened. "But Papa, I am just Ada. I only fetch water and help you with nets. I did not ask for this." Before he could answer, thunder cracked in the distance. The ground trembled as the wind grew wilder. Women screamed, rushing to gather children inside. Palms bent almost to breaking as the storm descended suddenly upon the village, but the strangest thing happened. While roofs flew off and trees snapped, Ada stood outside her hut and felt calm. The bracelet on her wrist glowed brighter, humming in rhythm with the storm. It was as if the wind and rain were waiting for her command. The villagers ran toward her, shouting above the thunder, "Look at her. She is causing this. She will destroy us all." Fear twisted Ada's stomach, yet her heart told her otherwise. She raised her hand slowly, and the storm seemed to pause for a heartbeat. The rain fell gentler, the wind softened, and a silence settled for a moment. The villagers gasped, their angry cries silenced by shock. Papa Okeke grabbed her arm. "Ada, listen. The river is testing you. You must decide, use this gift to protect, or to harm. Your choice will mark your destiny forever." The storm roared again, louder, demanding her decision. Ada looked at the frightened faces of her people, the ones who mocked and accused her. She thought of her father, who despite his fear, still loved her. Taking a deep breath, she pressed the bracelet to her heart. "I choose to protect," she whispered. Suddenly, the storm broke apart. The clouds rolled back like curtains, the rain stopped, and a calm peace settled over Okoro. The villagers fell to their knees, trembling at what they had witnessed, but Ada knew this was only the beginning. The river had given her power, but it also demanded a price. The morning after the storm, Okoro village woke in silence. The once broken roofs were strangely repaired, the fallen palms stood upright again, and the river flowed clearer than ever. It was as though the storm had never happened, except for one thing. Every villager remembered that it was Ada who calmed the storm. She walked through the village square with Papa Okeke beside her. Children peeked at her from behind their mothers, men lowered their eyes, and women whispered, "River child. Chosen one." No one dared to insult her anymore, but their fear had only deepened. The elders gathered that evening beneath the great Iroko tree. Ada was summoned, her father walking close, his hand firm on her shoulder. Elder Obi, his grey beard long and heavy, raised his staff and spoke, "Ada, daughter of Okeke, the river has marked you. You carry a power greater than this village. We cannot decide for you, you must choose your path. Will you stay among us, or will you follow the river's call?" Ada's heart thudded. She wanted nothing more than to live simply with her father, helping him mend nets and fetch water. But deep inside, the bracelet glowed warmer, almost like a heartbeat, reminding her that her destiny was tied to the river itself. Papa Okeke's eyes shone with both pride and sadness. "My Ada," he whispered, "your mother used to say the river runs through our blood. If you stay, I will be glad. If you go, I will still love you." Tears filled Ada's eyes. She turned to the villagers who once mocked her. "I never wished to harm you. But the river chose me, and I cannot turn away from it. I will use this gift to protect, not destroy." That night, under the full moon, Ada walked to the riverbank. The water shimmered as though waiting for her. She stepped forward, the bracelet glowing brighter with each stride. A soft voice rose from the river's depths, "Daughter of Okeke, child of the water, your path begins now." She turned one last time to see her father standing at the bank, tears glistening on his face, pride lifting his shoulders. Ada raised her hand in farewell, then stepped into the river. The water wrapped around her like a warm embrace, pulling her gently beneath, but she did not drown. Instead, she felt herself becoming part of the river, her heartbeat in tune with its flow, her spirit woven into its depths. The villagers said the river flowed purer and fish became plenty after that night. They no longer mocked Papa Okeke, for they knew his daughter had become more than human. She had become the river child, protector of Okoro, and though Papa Okeke never saw her again, whenever he cast his nets, a gentle ripple would brush his canoe. He would smile and whisper, "My Ada is here."